Well, first, I mean, we don't know the degree of the break, so I think that's a factor. But I would say this. If the doctors tell him, look, it's not going to be better a month from now. If you can play, we'll clear you to play, but a month from now it's still going to be just as bad, then I think he should play. Because a month from now, season probably is over for them as far as getting in the playoffs. And he's 41. This might be his last hurrah. So I would say go play. If they say, look, you wait a week, it'll be much better. Pain will be much better. You'll be, not in as much danger as far as if you fall. Then I would say wait a week. See if
what
Mason.
What kind of fracture heals in a week?
I mean, I'm just saying we don't know the degree, so I'm just wondering if there could be any difference in a week versus a month or things like that. So
it's weird.
Good idea for him to play? No, it is not. However, it's against the Bears. And not just because he dominates the Bears, but the Bears in their pass rush, it's almost non-existent. Like they're 22nd in sacks, 29th in pressure, 27th in pressure percentage. Like and he already gets rid of the ball. Regardless of what the break is, how the break looks, and if it will heal sooner rather than later, if he feels like he can protect himself, he plays. If he feels like I see this outfit, when I watch film, I know how I can escape getting hit, he plays. And I know that sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but when you go up against a team that doesn't get a lot of pressure, he already gets rid of the ball. He's going to his pride, his ego, because he owns this. He owns this team. He's going to want to play in this game.
This is okay. Quick story, and careful, Brew, because you're going to want to make fun of me. Here we go. So people who watch the show know a couple years ago I broke something similar to Aaron.
How?
No one knows. Brew knows, which is why I said careful. I believe the story is I slipped on the stairs. But regardless, I was texting and my dog tripped me. Regardless, at the hospital, the doctor gave me a sling. And I'm like, why? Like, it's not a shoulder thing. It's here, my arms. He's like, no. He's like, honestly, it's because people are more careful around you. They see you're in a sling, and they're like, and he's like, until we put the steel plate in that I ended up needing, he's like, you just don't want anyone to bump into you on the street. So again, his concern was someone just walking, with a briefcase might bump into me and would mess up my arm. Aaron Rodgers saw him out playing a tackle football game, and Greg, I understand the Bears don't have a great pass rush.
Wait, who are we talking about?
I understand it's Aaron Rodgers versus
We're not talking about
I get you're a ruffian. You're, but I mean, we're talking about a professional
I understand
football
all
player.
of that, but the 22nd best pass defense or pass rush has no impact on. Do we think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go an entire NFL football game and not get hit one time?
No, but it does have an impact, because if he were playing the Broncos and we know how they get after the quarterback, you think he's going to be like, yeah, I'm probably going to. No, I'm going to wait.
Okay, that's fair. The point that I'm making, maybe awkwardly, is he already was playing such a safe style of football that I think it put their offense behind the 8 ball in a lot of ways.
No, it didn't. Okay. We get it. You're not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. My guess is Nick broke his wrist because he was angry at something, like playing poker or something like that, and he went like, and like he broke it. That would be my guess. But I guess we'll never know. Only Brew knows. And Nick. Guys. A lot of y'all haven't been injured a lot, and it's showing you. Greg should know better. Greg's the one that's got to have been injured a whole bunch of times and has been exposed to great doctors. Fortunately, so unfortunately, so have I. First off, your fracture starts healing the moment it breaks. The moment it breaks, you start healing. That's how it works. I'm not saying that you're healed, but that's how it works. And if you're saying that a fracture isn't going to be any better in 4 weeks. Like Brew was like, the doctor says it's not going to be any different from now until 4 weeks, then blah, blah. And it's like, that's not how it works either. The only way that could even remotely be true is if you have such a severe fracture where you need to have surgery. You need to put a plate, and that's what Nick is saying, which clearly then his injury was bad enough where they're saying this isn't going to heal well enough. And that could be because it's broken through the skin. It could be because the break itself is too far apart, so there's too much space between the two pieces of the bone, so it's not going to heal. Or it's broken away where it's overlapping too much. And sometimes overlapping is fine and it heals and you'll have it, but and depending on the bone, that's okay. And some bones are like, no, we don't want that overlap at all. Or it's just overlapping too much and now it's going to compromise the function. That's literally exactly what they do with the clavicle. And I know that very well because I broke my clavicle. And the whole thing is like, we'll do surgery under these specific circumstances. Is it too far? Is it too much? Is it popping out? Do we have to actually put it back in place? All that type of stuff. And so the reality is that we don't have any of that information about Aaron Rodgers' injury right now. It could be a minor, it could be a little crack. And again, I can use the clavicle as another perfect example of this because his name is going to slip my mind, but he broke his clavicle playing basketball with the Warriors. I can't think of his name right now. He was able to continue to play. He was obviously in pain. He obviously wasn't perfect, but he was able to continue to play because it was more of like a crack, right? It was a fracture, but nothing was displaced. Nothing was really that bad. I broke my clavicle and it would have been absolutely positively impossible for me to do anything remotely physical. Like it would be absolutely impossible. There's not even kind of a chance. How much energy, how much fight do you have? Or you're a professional athlete, you could do it. Like, no, literally physically impossible. Literally physically impossible. So just because you have a break in something, there are so many different variations of that. I would say, if anything, a tear a lot of times, especially, is a lot more straightforward. But a break, there's just so much variation. Sometimes you have to plate it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you put a screw in it. Sometimes you put a nail in it. There's just so many different things. Sometimes you just got to put it back in place. You cast it. Sometimes you can't cast it. You can't cast a clavicle. They don't reposition it. Something different with your femur, with your wrist, your hand. A lot of times they don't want to do surgeries on your fingers because you get scar tissue and then you mess up your mobility. There's different things. Sometimes they don't want to leave plates in there or screws. That's why I think Steph Curry had an interesting surgery where I think he had a plate or screws, but then he had them removed. Obviously, it's different for him being a basketball player, and so like there's all different things that can be done. And so we have no idea what it is. That wrist, that fracture could be massive. It could be nothing. But the reality is that the football is pretty standardized. I'm not really under the impression that he could truly get clear to play. And they're just like, man, this thing's hanging on. Like you're one hit and you're done. Like I don't know if that's necessarily the case. But they also now do have a lot of ways to accelerate the healing process with all of these things that they've been able to do right now. Stem cells, PRP, all that fun stuff. And so we just don't know the full story here. So the whole good idea for Aaron to play, to me, is such a flawed question to begin because we just do not know. And a doctor is not giving you a sling as like a signal, as a bat signal for other people to be like, stay away from this guy. Like that's no. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers? Should he play? Mason Rudolph looked good against the Chicago Bears. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.